Hi guys, recently I made Korean garlic fried chicken or kanpungi, and it was so delicious, spicy and sweet from all the crispy fried leeks. This dish is a bit of a process though, but don't worry, I'm going to walk you through it. Start off with 2 chicken breasts and just chop them up pretty finely and place them in a bowl. Now take about a thumb-sized piece of ginger, peel it and mince it pretty finely. Then add it to the chicken. Pour over about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce and mix it all up and set it aside to marinate while you get on with the rest of the ingredients. Cut off the dark green tough leaves of a leek and the root as well. Cut the rest in half lengthwise so that you can wash out all the inside bits to make sure any bit of grit that gets inside there is removed. Once it's washed really well, set it aside to dry while you get on with chopping the garlic. I used a whole bulb here because this garlic will be cooked very well, so it won't be so intense, and also it is called garlic fried chicken. When all the cloves are peeled, just go ahead and cut them in half lengthwise. Now take your leek and as best you can cut them into as fine strips as possible. These will now be fried in a lot of oil to make them crispy, but to also infuse the oil with leek and garlic flavour. I've heated about 200 millilitres of rapeseed oil, but use vegetable oil if you prefer. And add in the garlic first to let that fry and get a colour. After a minute or two, when that's starting to go golden, add in your leek. Now stir fry these until they go really nice and golden brown and really crispy. For me, on this day, that took 7 minutes. Now remove the leek and garlic from the oil, leaving as much of that oil in the pan. Now the remaining oil is going to be flavoured further with this gochugaru, or hot Korean chili flakes. I'm adding 2 tablespoons here, but add more if you'd like it very spicy. Now stir fry that over a high heat for maybe 30 seconds or so, then remove it from the heat and pass the oil through a fine mesh sieve. Discard the contents of the sieve, but save the oil till later. Now go back to your chicken again, mix it up and add 1 egg. Now mix that in really well too, before you add 300 grams of plain flour. Now the easiest way to do this, I thought, was to just stick this on the scales, re-zero it and add the flour until it reached 300. Now mix that in really well as well to make sure that each piece of chicken is coated in the flour, and you mightn't like to hear this, but the best way of doing that is to use your hands. Don't be afraid to get stuck in there as if you were kneading dough. Now heat some more oil in the pan for frying. You're probably going to need another 200 millilitres of it. Once the oil is really nice and hot, go ahead and add the chicken pieces. You're going to fry this for about 7 minutes, turning halfway through. When they're really nice and golden and crispy, take them out and set them aside to be fried again later. Now chop up your fresh vegetables for the stir fry. Finely dice 1 onion, finely slice 2 small carrots on the diagonal, chop 3 spring onions, and finely slice 1 fresh red pepper into really thin strips. I de-seeded this as well. Now reheat both pans, one to refry the chicken and the other to stir fry the veg in. Once the infused oil is nice and hot, go ahead and add in your veg and stir fry for about 5 minutes. Once the oil for the chicken is hot, add the fried chicken and stir occasionally for about 10 minutes. Once the veg has softened, add about 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of rice wine vinegar, 2 tablespoons of water, and 2 tablespoons of dark brown sugar, and mix that up really well. Now sprinkle over a tablespoon of flour, this will really thicken the sauce, and mix it in well. Once that's cooked for a few minutes, it's time to add the chicken. Just spoon it in without adding any of that excess oil. You could let it drain on paper towels first if you'd like. And mix it in really well over a medium-low heat. Now pile in the crispy leek and garlic from earlier and mix all those up as well. If this dish looks anything less than amazing, then I must be doing it a disservice because it did look and taste incredible. I finished it off by adding just about a teaspoon of toasted sesame seed oil and tossing all that up and serving. I served this with some boiled udon noodles, which were fine, but I think rice would have been a lot nicer. Thanks a million for watching, guys. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, give it a like below and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I hope you'll give it a go as well. I know it's tricky, but I hope that I made it seem accessible anyway. Let me know how you got on social media. If you do try this, you'll find all the links to my accounts in the description below. as well as the link to my blog where you'll find this full recipe at www.rookiecook.org.